Chris, this water is cold, isn't it?
Oh man, it feels great!
With large projects, let's see, what is it? Today is Friday, so that would make it, we got 3 days in last week, 5 days, so this is day number, no, this is 6 days this week. I think we're 9 days in. Yeah, I think we're 9 days in right now. And this is what a large project looks like. 9 days in, close to 500,000 pounds of boulders set and in place. The pond is gravelled as we're going. And now we're at probably the most critical part of the entire project, and that is where we start putting together the life support system for the pond. Now, this project is going to be filtered using an intake bay, and one very large intake bay and two very large wetland filters. Let me show you what we did yesterday, what we're going to be doing today, and some of the components that we're going to be using to put it all together. Yesterday, we came into a mess. It was a train wreck. If you look at this channel that's right here in front of me, this has been filled in quite a bit. But what I'm standing in washed into the pond, as well as where the excavator is parked over here off to the side. It also happened a little bit over there on the other side here. And by no exaggeration, we pulled out approximately 2 yards of sand, maybe more, plus the gravel that had mixed in, which became worthless because there's just no way to clean the sand off the gravel in a productive manner. A yard is, by our standard unit of measurements, about approximately 10 wheelbarrows, and there's about 17 large scoops of dirt per wheelbarrow. But we're not able to do large scoops because we have to preserve the liner down below. So we're talking about 48 scoops per wheelbarrow times 10 times 2. It was an enormous amount of work to get all of that out. Now that that's done, we're ready to start taking this pond to the next level. So where I'm standing right now, the grade has to be raised to about here, right about here, because the bottom of our aqua blocks, the bottom of our intake bay has to reside, I think our measurement was 27 inches below grade. And so that puts us right at about here. So we still have another course of boulders to go up. We still have our backfill that has to go in, and we have to create that shelf for us to be able to start setting the aqua blocks. So this is going to be a big, big amount of work today. Yesterday, we finished bringing our boulders up to grade over on this side. And we got most of it done over here on this side because we had to put so much attention on fixing this mess. So let me show you our design for the intake. So we had a lot of conversation about this yesterday. Pardon my coffee. We had a lot of conversation about this yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that we wanted to be able to stack our finished wall on top of the aqua blocks to be able to give us a nice clean finish for the intake bay. So there was discussion about setting our, shoot, let me go get one. This is an aquascape vault. It's got a really cool design because the way that it's designed is that this goes below grade, and the aqua blocks that are at grade sit on top of it, creating a low point where the water is always available for suction. So our initial design was for us to take our vaults and put them off to the side. We looked at that and we thought, maybe not such a great idea. And I'll show you why. What we want to be able to do is we want to be able to create a shelf, and we want to be able to set our boulders mostly on the shelf, partly on top of the aqua block, which is fine because they can handle, I think the displacement is 5,200 pounds per square foot, so they're fine. But by this design and setting our vaults on the outside, it creates a lot of backfill. It also kind of creates a little bit of an irregular shape. And one of the cool things about the modular design of building using aqua blocks and vaults is that you can kind of do really cool things. This is a vault extension, and this vault extension is the same dimension, obviously, as the vault itself. So what we did is we kind of made a little bit of a mock-up of our intake bay, and this is going to go out by this design to about here, okay? And so by doing this, it kind of gives us a little bit of a visualization as to how can we hide these things and how can we maximize the flow going in. So what we're going to do here on this project is we're going to take our aqua blocks, and they're completely structural. They're able to be cut up and put into pieces. So if you come over here and take a look, you can see that our pins are here, and those pins go all the way around the entire block, meaning we could take a grinder or we can take a sawzall and we can cut this into little sections like this, discard the middle part, and cut that into another section over here. These middle parts will be used in other ways with our spillways later on. So what we're going to do is we're going to set our vaults in here and stagger them off to the side like so, and use these little small pieces like this. Now, as we're building it, as we're putting it together, we're going to zip time together. The only reason why we want to do that is because we want to make sure that before we start our backfill process, that these small pieces here, that they don't shift. We're going to be using, I think, 20, let's see here, how much was it? Because our pumps that we're using are 18,000 gallons an hour a piece, so 36,000, 30. So I think we're using 20 aqua blocks in this setup. 20 aqua blocks, 4 vaults. We're splitting the flow between each one of these vaults so that we're going to be able to balance that flow and not draw the vault out with too much flow coming down through it. The overall design, I think it's an excellent design. I think we're protecting the amount of flow that's going to be going in here. We've got a lot of work to get done today. And one last thing before I close out the video is I want to point out to you one other thing. Come on down here, check this out. Not only did we have to remove 2 yards of sand, but we also had to remove 14 inches worth of water. So that's almost up to my kneecap, right? You can see where the water line was. And you can also see how dirty it got, because as it was raining, as it was dumping this deluge of rain inside here, it was also blowing, and these trees, they blew right into the pond. So as you can see, in the future, when it does rain like that, this sort of stuff has to be skimmed off, and it has to be removed quickly. A pond like this would not survive a year without a good solid intake system like we're going to be doing here. So again, that's the focus of all of our work today. We're going to do our best to get that done, as much of it as we can today. And that will leave us next week with wrapping up what's left that we didn't get done today on the intake bay, building 2 wetland filters, edging this pond, getting our plumbing connected, and getting this pond ready for water. This is a big project, but we are absolutely on schedule in spite of all these minor setbacks. One last thing, a big project like this is going to have problems. It's going to have material delays. It's going to have production issues. It's going to have personnel problems where people are going to not be able to show up for whatever reason. We had a volunteer contractor that's local to us out here that was supposed to be here throughout the project, and he had things that he couldn't take care of back home. So from remote, so he had to go back home. We lost that labor, but we did gain another one with another gentleman that is new to aquascape and new to pond building, and he's been an incredible resource. But when you have these problems, when you have stuff like this dumping in here, when you have the rain pouring in, you have 14 inches worth of water inside your pond, and you have materials that aren't delivering on time, and you have people that aren't showing up, there's always something that can be done. There's never a reason to stop, not on a project of this size. So yesterday, we also had hold on. Yesterday is a perfect example. Big delay. Everyone had to stop because on that shelf, we had one of our skid steers, one of our cat skid steers, literally at a 40-degree angle, about ready to topple head over heels, and we had to pull that out. I'll show that to you in the video here as well. Hey, if you like what you see in this video, and if you stumbled on us by accident, I interact with 100% of every comment that's left on my YouTube channel. And if you like the video, just like the video. If you want to subscribe, that's great too, because those subscribers really do help out a lot. But leaving comments, that's important because it tells me what your thoughts are. You freely can ask questions inside my forum without feeling like you're being threatened about having a bad answer or whatever. I have a lot of professional contractors from all over the world that leave comments on my videos, and they ask a lot of questions, and it makes for such a great discussion. So again, if you're new here, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. If you really like the content, then hit the bell button, and that'll automatically let you be notified when another one of my videos are produced. In the meantime, I'm Carl with Columbia Water Gardens, and I'm here to remind you that 14 inches of water, a yard of sand, and an intake bay doesn't have to slow down the progress of a very big job. Happy ponding.
Jeff, get that cat around. We got to get to the transfer tank, fuel that one up. The 79 needs fueled up, and I'm not sure. Check for the other 308 and the 289.
All right, well, I'll take.
So I got, yeah, transfer tank's full. So let's get these filled up.
All right, I'm gonna take this over.
All right, sounds good.